Hi, welcome. It's Fiona Fernandez. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I live in Pyrmont, Sydney, Australia. I'm just going to show you the card that I have that I'm using as my welcome and thank you card this month. And this is made from the By the Bay Suite collection. And some of these things are on sale right now in the last chance sale. Some of them will carry over. So the stamps and dies will carry over, but they won't be a bundle anymore. So you have to buy them separately. So the cheaper way to get them is when they're still bundled, and bundles are done at 10% off. So some of the products in the last chance sale, it's cheaper to buy them individually. So make sure you check the prices in the website. And I've got all my details. They're on my desk anyway, but they're there. And yeah, so I'll just show you quickly how to, I've already cut a lot of the stuff out. I'll just cut a little bit. And if you purchase from me or join my team during April, you'll get one of my cards, the By the Bay Suite. Might not be this one, it might be another one, but I'll also have instructions for you and written instructions for this card particularly. So I did use this card in one of my classes previously, and I've got the instructions for that card as well. So I'll just change my spotlight and we'll get on with it. Here's my table. And so I've already cut a few things out. Background. So the card base is army blue. Now some of these colors in here are retiring as well. So you can always use the card frame style, you know, again with a different set. So that's also fun to try to change it up. So we start with our card base, and on my instructions it tells you the sizes, and then you go on and cut out some white cardstock. So I've already pre-cut mine. So we have two of these, one to go inside the card and one for the front of the card. So that one for the front of the card will be embossed in a moment. And then we die cut the large bird. So we've got another circle here. Now the circle, what have I got there? Circle dies. Pretty sure the circle dies are going, so they'll be in the last chance. So I'm just going to quickly flick through the website a little bit as well, so I can tell you. What am I looking for? Layering. These are the layering circle dies that I used for this. To see if they're still there. Yep, they're still on the website. Today is the 15th of April, and the sale goes till the 1st of May. So whatever's still there. So it's while stocks last. So they're $42.70 for the dies instead of $61. So they have lots of circles in them, lots of different sizes, and I've cut this using those as well. So this one is the next size up, and I put two of them together to cut the blue ring, and I've kept the blue, the rest of the circle. You know, I've just put it back in the packet to use for something else. So this particular paper here, this is called, let me see, textured shimmer paper. I'll just check if that's still there as well. It's got the website up there. Textured shimmer paper. So that is still there for $17.50. It's not on sale, just so you're aware of that. And so that one's that one. And then we cut out the grassy bits. So I've still got a couple of grassy bits to cut, so I'll just do those quickly. So I've got them on the mint macaron here. Now the mint macaron is going, the colour. Put my little base back. Now when you're using your mini, make sure you don't line the ends up like straight like that. You want them a bit staggered. So you put, I'm putting the bottom one out a bit, the middle one in a bit, and then I'll put the top one can be out a bit. Line your sides up though. Make sure they're nice and straight. It's best for your plates. Can do damage. Now this one seems to be grabbing my base plate. Hang on a minute. I might put that through the other way so that that's sticking out that end. Make sure this sitting on the card. So I'm just using a little scrap of card that I had left over. Wind that through. That's better. See how easy it goes through once you stagger those ends. So I do find that works better if I put that top plate out a little bit on that side, not in a bit on this side. So it seems to grab better. So here's those two. So I need two of those. They're going to be my little grassy pieces like that. then we also need to, so I've got another more scraps on the side here, but I've got this one as well. No, that's the same color. I need they're very similar. This one's Pool Party. So we want some on now. That's the best way. So I like to try and get the best out of my cardstock. Seeing which way to go here. Oh, maybe it's just that way. If that one will fit under there. I do like to fiddle around with a little bit because it's like sewing. I do sewing as well. So it's nice to get everything out of it as much as possible. Always like to get your money's worth out of things. I'm going to put that one across the top there. You might think that that little one there is out a tiny bit, but that's okay because the cutting line is still within that. Your cutting line's always in a little bit. I'll show you the die in a minute when I get it out. Doesn't matter if it goes off the edge a tiny millimetre. Winding that like that carefully so I'm holding my plates together at the same time. Show you what I'm talking about. See how it was okay? Look, see how close that is? Because the actual die cut has a little bit of a ridge there. So if they don't come out straight away, sometimes I just throw them on the table and they pop out. Okay, but if they don't, just use the little holes in your little pokey tool. I've got my take your pick tool, my little pointy end, and just poke through those holes and that will get them out. Just depends. Sometimes they come out easily, sometimes they don't. This one's being stubborn. There we go. There it goes. So that's how easy that is to get out. The other one didn't get stuck in there. And I just use my take your pick tool to get them off if they stuck to that. Pop that over there. Our dies back in our die packet, which I'll put somewhere. Somewhere on the table. That's it. No, that's the poppies. I had the poppies out the other day. Can't pull my die packet. It's here somewhere. I'll pop it in the stamp thing. Must have moved it. Okay, so let's get the mini out of the way. So we've got our die cut grassy bits. We've die cut the shells already. So I used some of the Designer Daydream paper, which is going. That's one of the host sets, I think. And I've used this one out of that. And so it made really nice little shells. Look. Yeah, I've got a bit of colour and texture on. The texture comes from the die and the colour comes from the paper. So if you didn't have any of that paper, you could use the plain coloured paper, which is let me think. What colour paper is that? Oh, I think it's Blushing Bride. I can't see it on my sheet. Anyway, you can make them yourself out of whatever colour you like to coordinate. And then I've just used the water brush to make water strokes on that one because that was another project in my class. I do sell the instructions with the complete 3 projects as well. And that was a little fidge magnet. Okay, so then we need our grassy shells. Okay, tape, attach the balmy blue, white variegated ribbon. Okay, so we've got to emboss our piece. So I've set that up earlier. When we cut our white pieces, we're going to emboss a piece of white cardstock. So I've got one over here already, and I've got it in the Timber 3D embossing folder. I'm pretty sure that's staying around. Just double check. I like to double check everything for you. Okay, the Timber 3D embossing folder is still there. Yes, that's still there. So just pop your card in, mark on that one. I'll probably get covered up anyway. Yep. And sort of line it up nice and straight down the edge there. Okay. Put that into my machine. I can fit it on the table. Okay, so when you're using a 3D embossing folder, just follow the instructions here. So we want plate 1, which is this one here, And then we want plate 4, which is used with 3D embossing folders. So the 3D embossing folders are a bit thicker. They're 3D. Put it in hinge first if you can. Depends what you're doing. Sometimes if you're doing something that's sticking out the top of the embossing folder, it's, you can't do that. Way. Put that down to get it going. Once. Over here. And then you've got your nice embossed piece of card. Looking like that. And it's up to you which way you put it down. You can have it, it's sort of got lots of texture going on, so it doesn't really matter with this embossing folder. It's probably a little bit more embossed that way. So before we stick that down, we've got a piece of ribbon. Now this ribbon is carrying over as well, which is really nice. So we've got this piece here, and we're going to stick that onto our card. And I'll just use a bit of tear and tape. So mine is 2.5 centimeters up from the bottom. But again, if you buy something from me, you'll get the instructions written out, so you don't need to remember everything. I'm just going to put it there. You can use your grid paper as well. I've got one around here somewhere to line things up. That's a way to do it. So if I go that way, so we've got centimeters here, and we've got inches on the other side, any which way you like working. So if I put that there, and I say it's 2.5 up from the bottom, that works out. Just line this one up. Let's have another look. 2.5, approximately 2.5 there. So that's the bottom of the ribbon. So I want my tape to be a bit above that. I'm going to put it there so that I can line the bottom piece of my tape up. And then this one will do the same thing. 1, 2.5. That way I know then when I want to put the ribbon blue side down, just watch this ribbon because it is bluer on one side than the other. And then I'll want to put that, so I line it up like that. Take your tear and tape backing off. Come off. So if it doesn't want to come off straight away, if it's pulling the glue up, push it back down and rub your finger on it carefully, just to make sure it really sticks to the card before you try and get it off again. That seems to work for me. Right, just going to line back up here. You can see our line there, 2.5. And make sure that one's at 2.5. And I'm just going to pull one up first. And then just tug on it gently. You don't want to pull it too hard because you don't want it to be buckling the card. Just want it up enough. So that's going to hold that on the back. And then we've got a nice line there. Okay, so we've done that. Then we're going to attach, we've done that bit, turn over and pull across part, attach the embossed card to the front using glue or tear and tape. So I'm just going to use some glue because it's a little tiny bit quicker. Try and be quick for you. Put a bit on the ribbon as well. Make sure when you're using the embossed card that you get enough glue on. Put a little bit extra across the middle for this one because you've got more layers of ridges and things like that. So with glue, the liquid glue, it is going up in price. So if you want to grab some before the end of the month, make sure you do that. And when you're putting stuff with glue on, see how I've got too much on this side? and not much on that side. I just carefully sort of pull with one thumb and push with the other a little tiny bit, and you just sort of wiggle the card a little bit, and it sort of eases it over before you push it down too hard with the glue. I just find that really helps, because that's one of the reasons I like using the glue. If you use the tear and tape, just take the backing off to that corner and that, like opposite corners there, and position it using the corners that still have the tape backing on. And that way you can get your card in the right spot. All right, we've popped that on. And now next we need to attach the balmy blue circle. Now just remember, we're going to be putting our stamp piece underneath that balmy blue circle. So I like to, where you could, I have put there to attach the circle first, but I'm wondering whether I should do the stamp. So we'll just quickly stamp that with my stamp. Here it is. And I've used the light of navy ink for this one. And if you want to test that first, just use your grid paper and do a stamp or two, just have a little practice. So this one's going to sit out there. I didn't actually write on there. I guess once you've got your circle on, you can put your circle on sitting there. So that'll sit about there. We'll straighten it up though. If you look at where that's going to sit, like that. And you're going to have a piece of grass up there. Just sort of have a look at it. It's sort of almost centered in that piece of card. It depends what, if you're just using a scrap though, just look at it from this end across that way. Put that one on that end. Right, that's a good way to do it. I'm working it out still. If I put my grassy bit like that, like this one, and then I can see where it's going to sit. You just clean your stamp straight away onto your chamois. My chamois, my clean chamois. This is the only bit of stamping we're doing. My classes, I do different, you know, I do some with more stamping than others. Depends what I need. Done. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we can put our circle on. So just be aware, if you're using this paper, there are lines on it. And I'm going to put it so that the lines are going up and straight up and down. And I just use a tiny little bit of liquid glue for that. And it comes out. Don't want to squeeze too hard. Just want a tiny little bit. And if you squeeze too hard, you'll get it everywhere. This is one way to put glue on. The other way would be to use your silicone mat and put a bit of glue on the mat and just dab it on carefully with some, you can use your tool, take your pick tool to dab it on. Pick a little bit of glue up, dab it on. I'm used to doing this sort of thing, so I do it that way. Right, so we're going to be putting that under there. I did say there, attach the balmy blue circle, leave a little gap for the sentiment to slip under, stamp the sentiment, position, Okay, so I'm actually thinking I probably should just put that down before I put that down. Otherwise I'll have to pull it back up. And I'm just using the liquid glue. Easy. And this one, so this one, I think I've got the measurement in the strip, but I might have just used what have I got? 2.9. Oh, okay, this piece I've got here is 8. I just pulled a bit out of my box to do. So you can use offcuts, so it doesn't have to be exact measurement. It was just so that it went under that little birdie bit. Okay. And then we can grab our circle and stick that about. I've got a thing there. I'm just seeing if I've written. No, just basically follow the picture. Just see where the bird's sitting. I think that's all right. Put that on there. That way we've got that under there already. So if you had the longer piece to 9, you just cut, either put it under there or cut off that side and stamp sort of in the middle. Okay, and then basically we're just putting it all together. I'm going to glue on the birdie. That's just die cut out of the Designer Series paper. You could actually stamp one. There is a stamp in the set. If you wanted to, if you don't have the paper, you could always stamp that one. That bird in. And just position these. So I've got the pool party there. The mint macaron there. Mint macaron. So I've done the mint macaron at the back of that one. I just put it on the bottom. I don't put it on all of the edges. I like them sticking up a little bit. You do it how you like it. And we just put a little bit more on that one. And once you get the bits cut out, it's quite quick and easy to make a few cards even, which is what I'm going to be doing in a minute. And customer cards. And I put a picture of this on my blog. So if you go to my blog, it's on here there, the blog spot. Just Google Bifey Handcrafts blog and you'll find me. I've gone down a bit. Doesn't matter. Don't want to have glue everywhere. Yeah, the blog has the picture and it has blog hop. So you can go blog hopping to other people's blogs. And if you scroll down the page a bit and see what other people have made. Get some ideas and inspiration. Big one there. Big one there. And we want the little one. So in the dies, wish I knew what I did with the dies. They've got to be sitting on my desk here. So, I was sitting here because I was using them. Die cutting everything. So there they go. Try to move them. It's amazed me where they've disappeared to. Anyway, there's little die cuts for the shells, and there's two of the large ones and 2 of the small ones, so it makes it quicker when you're cutting out your die cuts. I like that they do that with some of the things. Just be careful, if you put too much glue on it, it will ooze out the sides, and I've got a bit on that one. We've got all our bits on there, and now we just need our bling. Now the bling is carrying over to the new catalogue, so that's exciting. So with these big ones, I tend to use my Take Your Pick tool to get them up. I'll do it with these ones too. Sometimes I use the other side of my tool to get the bling off. The putty side. Yeah. So the putty side on the smaller bling, you can just, oh yeah, it works on that one, right? You can just do that. So that's it. My little card. And so thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like my video. I'll just pop my face back up on the on the screen. So thank you for watching me today. There's my card that I've made for you. And if you're shopping with me, I do have a host code, which you saw on the desk a second ago, for April on orders under $250. If you're ordering over $250, don't use my host code. Just make sure you're shopping with me. And this is in Australia only. And that way you get the rewards for yourself. So if you spend $250 or more, you'll get minimum 10% extra rewards, which is great because you can choose products for yourself. So that's my card today. Oh, I forgot to put the middle in. So just make sure you put your other piece as well, the white card inside it, so it finishes your card off. And I always put my By Fee Handcrafts on the back because I made it, and I sell my cards as well. So you have to put the Stampin' Up logo on there, the little stamp, if you're doing that. So just make sure you do that as well if you're selling it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.